are going to discuss Chapter 13.
The human being and society.
But first, let us define what is a human being and society.
Human being is a man, woman, or child of the species Homo sapiens, distinguished from other animals by superior mental development, power of articulate speech, and upright stance. Now, let's define what is society. Society is the aggregate of people living together in a more or less ordered community. We are done defining these two terms, so let's start discussing about the meaning of human society. Human society refers to a lasting association of people who are bound together by a common goal. It is systematically organized by the laws, social institutions, and governing officials for attainment of the common good. What is the common good about or consists of? It consists of those goods and values by means of which a society helps its members to realize their tasks, which they alone cannot sufficiently achieve. A good example of this is the concept of bayanihan, which refers to the spirit of communal unity, work, and cooperation to achieve a particular goal. Examples of the common good are sound physical, mental health, sufficient education or schooling, opportunities for work, socioeconomic progress, as well as conditions favorable to cultural or religious life.
Next to be discussed is the human being as basis of social activities. Let's define first social activities. It refers to activities considered appropriate on social occasions. Examples of social activities are fashion shows, live music, and sing-along, outings, concerts, birthday parties, and many more. Let's proceed on the main part. The basis of all social activities is the human being. This is to say that the goal of all social institutions is and must be the human person, whose very nature needs other human persons or people. Salgado 1988-1. While, of course, the human being is society's focal point, some philosophers tend to miss this point. For example, in the 19th century, the philosophy called individualism flourished. What is individualism about? It is about overemphasizing the individuality of man or the human being. It considered the individual or absolute, superior to the state, and thus independent of state control. Hence, individuals could disregard or neglect social obligations. It was thought to have made the powerful few become super rich and super powerful at the expense of the common people. On the other hand, there was totalitarianism, a philosophy which considered the state as all-powerful and absolute, that it could also disregard the rights and freedom of society's individual members. Its abuses were visible in modern totalitarian states, where people were either forced to do hard labor for the aggrandizement of the state, or killed under the pretext of being politically dangerous. Perfect example of totalitarianism is Nazi Germany, under the rule of Adolf Hitler. That's all for the human being as basis of social activities.
Next is the human being needs society. By nature, human being is social made by God to live in society, so that the natural necessities which alone he could not satisfy, he could find fulfilled in society. Salgado 1988, citing Pope Leo XIII. This view found early utterance in Aristotle, which according to him that human being is a political animal that can realize his truest self in society. Masha 1957. Which he means that we are political animals because we are a social creature with the power of speech and moral reasoning. Hence, it is evident that the state is a creation of nature, and that man is by nature a political animal. And he who by nature and not by mere accident is without a state, is either above humanity or below it. He is the tribeless, lawless, heartless one, whom Humera denounces. The outcast who is a lover of war, he may be compared to a bird which flies alone. And that is according to Aristotle. In short, if one is tribeless, lawless, heartless one, he or she is forever alone. He added that society was not made for man, for his convenience and disposition, but it is a vital necessity, an indispensable need which man cannot do without. The human being, therefore, must be willing to sacrifice for society. Sahakyan and Sahakyan 1966. According to Plato, he believed that no one is sufficient in himself, herself. Everyone needs the aid of others. In other words, we need each other's assistance to attain a certain goal for our society. They must, thus, live with others in society. Masha 1957. Plato also held that the individual is more important than the society, and that it's necessary to know the nature of individuals to ascertain the characteristic of a desirable society. The goodness of the society depends on the individuals that is in that society. It is not the system of the society that creates evil or immoral social conditions, but the makers of that system which are the members of the society. He added that good citizens produce a good society. John Stuart Mill recognized that humans naturally tend to their own interests. He thought that by living in society, human beings can acquire the habit of sharing their happiness with the happiness of others. Masha 1957.
Philosophers Locke, Rousseau, Fichte, Schelling, and many others believe that the human being's true self could be realized only in the right kind of social group.
They saw that the human society is the means to the best kind of life. For one who lives among fellow humans develops characteristics which are most worthwhile. In other words, being with other human beings affect our personality and characteristics because as time passes by, we develop characteristics that are influenced from our fellow men. Hence, society becomes a vehicle for the total development of the human being. The more an individual is involved in his or her community, the greater is that individual self-actualization. That means, the more connected you are with others, the greater the chance for an individual to realize his true self. This connection binds everyone that leads to exchanging of ideas, learning from others' perspective, and many more that contributed to shaping and molding our personality or ourselves. The last to be discussed is the human being as social by nature. Human being is social by nature. It means that we interact, we mingle, we party, etc. The natural sociability of human beings is shown by the facts of history. History tells that in all epochs, under all stages of culture and civilization, in all kinds of races, people live in society. This fact, which has always existed in spite of the differences of place, time, race, ideas, and feelings. must proceed from a constant and universal cause. This cause is none other than human nature. That humans are by nature social beings. If human beings are social by nature, then they have the natural obligation to work and cooperate with others to bring about the good of society as a whole. As physically and psychologically, human beings need other people or society for happiness and progress. It is but proper that they should repay society by serving society and obeying its laws.
A man cannot repudiate this duty, which by God's commandment binds him to the civil society. Its rulers have accordingly the right to constrain him to his duty should he unlawfully disobey. Wrote Pope Pius XI, Salgado 1988-20. Hence, to serve society is an obligation, but it is a happy one.
Summary of the human being and society. Human society refers to a lasting association of people who are bound together by a common goal. And there are three subcategories on it. First is the human being as basis of social activities. Second is the human being as social by nature. And the third is the human being needs society. The human being as basis of the human being as basis of social activities. It is said that the goal of all social institutions is and must be the human person or people. And there is this philosophy of individualism was thought to have made the powerful few become super rich, and philosophy of all totalitarianism, which considered the state as all powerful that it could be disregard the rights and freedom of society. While human being needs society, the human being is a social by nature made by God. There are many people who are involved with her, such as Aristotle, Plato, Locke, Fichte, and many others. They say that human being is a political animal that can realize his truest self only in society and needs the aid of others. And lastly, the human being as social by nature, the natural sociability of human being is shown by the facts of history. These facts which always extend in spite of the differences of place, time, race, and feelings. And can human being have the natural obligations to work and cooperate to you of society as a whole?
Facts about the human beings.
There are more bacteria in a human mouth than there are people in the world. For an adult human, taking just one step uses up to 200 muscles. Over 90% of diseases are caused or complicated by stress. Babies are born with 300 bones. But by adulthood, the number is reduced to 206 bones.
We are about 1 centimeter taller in the morning than in the evening.
Facts about the society.
Fun facts about the society!
Sending our children into schools to cram and memorize stuff they will rarely use in the real world. Bestowing honors and awards on soldiers, making it acceptable to slay someone.
Hunting and killing innocent animals on a daily basis for food. Experiments, clothes, and art.
Having a myriad of religions, each one believing that their deity is the only true and unique account. Traveling and partitioning the world's lands and then quarreling over who owned that. Focusing on building our careers and businesses and missing out on the crucial stages of our children's growth.